Hey guys, Apox Fox here, and welcome back. So, I don't know if you can tell from my videos over the past few months, but I've fallen head over heels with Dark Souls. We're getting married in the fall, and all my subscribers are invited to the wedding. You might be surprised by this because I spent so much time complaining about Dark Souls 3 in my review for it, but that was before I played Dark Souls Remastered, which somehow made me appreciate the series in ways I completely overlooked before. I'm now on a quest to complete every single Soulsborne game before Elden Ring comes out next month, which I will admit is pretty ambitious because of how long and difficult these games are. But if you want to watch my mental state deteriorate, well, I'll be streaming those games starting with Bloodborne on my channel, so make sure to check those out. Anyways, back to Dark Souls Remastered. There's a lot I want to cover, so let's jump right into it. I never played the original Dark Souls before the remastered version, and because of that, I have no reference for how much better this game is now. I can only assume that it's pretty much the same game with some quality of life improvements and better graphics. In Dark Souls, you play as a cursed dead body, down on his luck until he's given another shot at life. Or more realistically, 50,000 more shots at death. It's your classic coming-of-age story. What I appreciate about this game right off the bat is that it throws you into the world with very little information on what's actually going on. In my Dark Souls 3 review, I complained that you're given way too much information, making the story feel convoluted and not worth following. But this time, pretty much everything is left to mystery, and the only way to learn more about the history of Lordran is to find the various NPCs scattered all around the world. Even then, you never get the full picture of what happened to Lordran, but it made me feel intrigued enough to want to talk to everybody I came across and actively listen. There's a certain charm to the dialogue in Dark Souls, and even though the voice acting is very hit or miss, I found a lot of the dialogue actually pretty funny. There's this overwhelming feeling that nobody has any faith in you and your quest because it's been attempted about 1,000 times, which makes you almost want to prove them wrong. But other than that, it's all up to you to find out the rest of the story from observing the world around you as you explore. And that leads me to my favorite part of Dark Souls Remastered, which is the exceptionally good level design. In Dark Souls 3, the world felt like separate levels connected by campfires you can use to fast travel, which isn't at all a bad thing, especially with the sheer size of the game. There is zero fast traveling in the first Dark Souls, which at first worried me because you'll be spending a lot of time retracing your steps, but it's completely justified by the way the map is laid out. Every time you go on a long journey through one direction of the map, you always find yourself looping back around to the start, making it actually really easy to get around. I also really liked the different locations in this game. Everywhere from Blighttown to Sen's Funhouse is very memorable, especially since you spend so much time learning the ins and outs of these areas. Visually, I love the more simplistic art style of Dark Souls, probably even more than Dark Souls 3. I know it's a product of its time since the original was released back in 2011, but these sort of matte, smooth character designs and washed out colors is actually really pretty. My biggest complaint towards the exploration element of this game is that it's really easy to hit a dead end and not know where to go next. Dark Souls is one of those games that opens a ton of different paths for you to explore right from the start, but without any sort of map or marker system, it can get pretty frustrating when you're confused where to go next, especially when the only way to reach the next objective is to parkour up some ruins and sit idle in a bird's nest for 20 seconds. I'm not even joking, you actually have to do that, and you better believe I had to look that one up. Aside from that though, I think the level design is easily the strongest part of Dark Souls Remastered, and if you're somebody who enjoys Metroidvania style games, there are plenty of elements reminiscent of that genre here. So next up, let's talk about the combat. To be clear, I never used a mage build in this game, so I can't speak on that playstyle, but as far as the melee combat goes, I think it held up really well. Dark Souls puts a huge focus on spacing and defending with a shield. Pretty much the first 10 hours for me was dedicated to learning how to parry enemies and timing backstabs. But once you master those basics, the game starts to get a lot better. There's a huge variety of enemies in Dark Souls Remastered, and half of the fun is coming across a new monster and having to learn the best way to take it out. Boss fights are really great in this game. I pretty much always died during my first attempt against a boss because they can be pretty overwhelming when you find them, but the feeling of finally taking down a boss you've been stuck on for hours is so rewarding. If you didn't know already, there's a multiplayer mechanic in Dark Souls where you can have other players from around the world either help you defeat a boss, or randomly show up in your game and try to kill you. I can't lie, I hated this mechanic in Dark Souls 3, especially because I really never felt like I knew what I was doing in a PvP fight. So I ended up turning it off, which is a shame because the co-op gameplay is such a highlight of the Dark Souls experience. I decided to suck it up and play online in Dark Souls Remastered, and I will admit the positives outweigh the negatives. It's still really annoying when you finally make it past a group of really challenging enemies and a player randomly shows up and kills you, but I don't know if I would have ever beaten this game if it wasn't for the teammates that helped me take on some of the bosses. It's also rewarding to be online because of the messaging system, where other players will leave notes around warning you to avoid enemy ambushes or tricking you to jump to your death. While I'm probably going to continue to complain about multiplayer as I progress through the series, Dark Souls Remastered showed me that multiplayer is pretty essential to the Souls experience. One of the biggest strengths of the game compared to Dark Souls 3 is its leveling system. While most of the mechanics surrounding collecting souls and using them towards making your character stronger are pretty much the same, you can actually level up your character at any bonfire you come across, which is a huge improvement over having to fast travel all the way back to the Firelink Shrine in Dark Souls 3. I'm also slightly biased towards the leveling system this time around because having prior Souls experience definitely helped me know what to focus on leveling up right from the beginning. But I did feel like the bare bones upgrading system was a lot easier to grasp either way. My favorite part about making my character into an overpowered machine in this game was the quest to find all these super powerful weapons, which made exploring each corner of the overworld that much more rewarding. I will say there were times I had to resort to looking things up, which I'm not a huge fan of in any game. I mean, how am I supposed to know that I can get a Drake sword by shooting the dragon's tail exactly 30 times? But either way, finding these secret items and upgrading them to make yourself even stronger was a lot of fun. And finally, I wanted to touch upon the music in this game, which there really isn't a lot of, but I started to appreciate this approach the more I played. You don't really notice that no music is playing for the hours you spend adventuring the world, but when you enter a boss fight, and the music kicks in out of nowhere, it feels very satisfying. Plus, returning to the Firelink Shrine just to have that really peaceful theme come on makes you feel somehow calm in a world where everything has fallen into chaos. Guys, Dark Souls Remastered is an absolute classic. It's one of those games that I can't believe it took me this long to play, but having that experience now was pretty fantastic. It definitely holds up, and compared to Dark Souls 3, I probably enjoyed this one more, but it does intrigue me to go back and re-experience the game with fresh eyes. So have you played Dark Souls Remastered? Which Soulsborne game is your favorite? Also, which one should I play next? Make sure to let me know down in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed already, definitely consider subscribing. I've got a new review out every week, and I'm always taking suggestions from you guys, so feel free to let me know what your favorite games are and if I should review them. That being said, thanks so much for watching, keep on gaming to the fullest, and peace.